Hello, hi, my name is Nathaniel. First of all, I want to say thank you for joining me in today's first live for me. Fingers crossed, I know what the hell I'm doing. It makes it sound like a technophobe or a boomer, but I'm not, I'm neither. But right now, I just want to say thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming here and supporting me and trying to connect with me on a certain level and the level in which I'm trying to do right now. What I'm going to do first, hi, Buki. Yes, Dio, thank you. Josephina, good to see you. Tade, welcome. Um, Thank you for joining me right now as we go through the next potentially 15 minutes. We'll be able to know a little bit more about what I do, and I'll be able to answer some of your questions you may have, or some of your queries, or maybe you just want to connect on privately or even on this platform to ask certain things that you may be experiencing that you actually want to pick the brains of a psychotherapist. For all other psychotherapists out there, the trade secrets will be revealed because the trade secrets are for the benefit of every client. And what I'm doing right now is to try and help as many people as possible, to try and engage, connect, and trying to find some peace for as many people as possible, because a lot of people do find themselves in situations where maybe they do not know the answers, and maybe if I can help, well, here I am to be able to put my foot forward, trying to assist as many people as possible. So welcome to every one of you for joining me. So far so good. The phone hasn't dropped. The plant hasn't died yet. So welcome. So for me to start, I want to just say a little bit about myself and a little bit about my experience. I don't like to use the word knowledge because knowledge sounds very uppity. I'll talk about my experience and some of the lessons that I have taken that I want to impart on as many people as possible. Thank you for letting me have this platform and joining me. My name, that's the one. So many people know me by so many names, but my name is Nathaniel in this format. I'm a psychotherapist. And what does that mean? Isn't that a fancy word of saying counselor? Isn't that a fancy word of saying a talking therapist? So many different names mean the same thing. What is in a name, as Shakespeare once said. But as a psychotherapist, what my job is to try and help you. My form of therapy is to try and help my clients through the medium of talking therapy, a specific psychological pursuit to help people mentally, emotionally understand better what they're going through. Now, imagine one of the ways I describe it to my clients is this. Imagine you've got your hand in front of your face right now. If you can, hi, if you can, what I would say is, someone said no volume. So can you hear me now? Is that better? Yay? The volume okay? All right. So what I do and how I use it, psychotherapy, how I describe it to my clients is this. If you put your hand in front of your face, thank you, Toby. I appreciate it. Thank you, Buki. Thank you, Talia. Yes. So the way I look at it is this. As a psychotherapist, how can I explain to you what we do to help you? So if any of you can do this for me, if you can just put your hand to your face as close as possible. Now imagine in that situation, I'm telling you to count for me all the lines in your hands. You will not be able to. So try it right now. Every single line in your hand, you won't be able to because it's so close. You can't see it. Now for me as a psychotherapist and my colleagues, what we do is because we're not connected to it, because we are not looking like this at our own hands. We can look at it from afar. And by looking at it from afar, our perspective is different from yours. And what that means is we can look at it and be able to describe to you exactly what we see. To you, it's just this. By doing it like that, it's basically looking at it and being able to describe to you all the minuscule lines you can see here, all the strands, all the journey that this encompasses, because we can see it clearer with a little bit away from it. and we can give you insight into the dark corners that you haven't been able to see. So entering a dark room, you can't see anything. But when a psychotherapist comes in, we are the torch that basically lights it up a little bit and just guides you. And so if you just look over there, you can see what's on the wall. If you look over there, you can see it clearer. And just like that, you'll be in a better position to be able to see the things that has been previously unconscious for you. One of the phrases that we use is making the unconscious conscious. So imagine that. What that means, hi Alicia, what that means is if you are unconscious about something that's happening to you, it now becomes conscious. That is partly a way of describing what we do. Okay? Imagine going through life and going through a certain journey, through a difficulty with someone that's just holding your hand. An invisible shadow, you may say, that guides you through that painful experience and gets you to be in a better place to be able to understand it. I think I've exhausted as many analogies and as many imagery as I can right now. So that is what I do. And I've been doing this for over 12 years now. So as I'm 25 years old, which means I've been, okay, maybe not quite 25, but I've been doing it for 12 years right now. And the vast experience and the training in which I've gone into has allowed me to be able to have maybe a little bit more insight than some in certain fields. The same way, if you are a baker and I do not bake, you have more knowledge and insight into baking than I do. I'll just have to appreciate and respect your experience, and hopefully I'll be able to learn from you. And that is the purpose of me doing this live. All right. So that's a little bit about myself. I've had a few questions that's come through. So thank you for the ones that have sent the questions through. I'll get through to some of it. I'll be able to answer some of those questions in this platform. If you've got any more questions, put it into the comments. And as I'm going along like I'm doing right now, I'll be able to answer as many questions as possible for you. All right? Don't be shy. It's okay. I'm here to listen and to impart my professional opinion onto the topic in which you're coming with. All right. So right now, mental health, and it leads me actually onto my first point I wanted to make in this platform, which is mental health and the stigma it comes with. And just like that, the universe has blessed me with Josephina coming through with a comment right there. Josephina says, it's a good look because there's a big taboo in psychotherapy and counseling. Yes, there is. And in every community, there's a taboo in psychotherapy and counseling, because a lot of the times we do not want to acknowledge our fallibility. We do not want to acknowledge our weak points, or what we consider to be weak points. We do not want to consider that we are in pain, and by virtue of me putting it out there, people are going to see me a certain way. They're going to judge me. They're going to think I am crazy or weak or feeble or just extra, too much work, whatever you want to call it. They're going to think that of me, and my fear of being judged is going to prevent me from seeking the help that I clearly need, that my body and my mind is screaming at me that I need support. I need help. Support me, help me, because what I'm going through right now, I do not feel confident that I can deal with it. So for all the ones that still do have stigma about mental health and psychotherapy and counseling, and what their fear is, or what it will mean for other people to realize that, oh, they're seeking therapy, what I will say to you is, I was once in that situation, and I can speak from my own personal experience and my own personal thinking of that field right now, which is, how did I overcome that stigma, right? I think of it this way. If I value my car so much, I value it. I've paid a lot of money for this car, and this car is valuable to me. I love it. When I'm driving it, I'm like, yes, I feel good in it. It provides me the opportunity to get from places to places, And also is an extension of my personality, because based on the car you drive, you choose the color, you choose the style. It's an investment of an extension of yourself in that. So imagine right now, when that car of yours is hungry, you feed it. You know, you put your petrol, your diesel, or hopefully for all of us in a couple of years, you put the electricity within that car. Now, if that car needs a tune-up, because you've been running that car, you've been going all the way to Scotland and back, you put petrol in it, and the engine is like, hold on a minute, you've been doing this for 6 months non-stop. How can I look after that car better? I'm going to get it serviced. And you get that reminder that says, okay, service is due, maintenance is due. So for the mind, for all of those that still having the stigma about mental health, as powerful a machine as a car is, it needs to be serviced to perform at its optimum level. If it doesn't, that car will break down. If it doesn't, that car will be worthless when it breaks down, because the purpose of a car, the use of a car, is for it to be able to drive. And if that car is unable to drive, it becomes worthless in that situation. So the car, if you haven't noticed it, is an extension of yourself. The analogy is that you are that car. That is a part of you. That's your mental health. You're going to let stigma stop you from servicing that car, increasing the value of it, washing it, cleaning it, checking that it's okay, taking care of it, buffing it, getting the alloys sorted out. You're not. Now imagine your mind and your brain and your sense of self and peace is that thing you value so much. So you're telling me you value your car better than you value yourself? Well, I don't, and I'm hoping the answer to that question is that you guys don't either. So those are the kind of things that I want to be able to talk about. I want to bring into this platform for us to be able to talk about together. Okay? So any other questions you have, keep firing it through, and I'll try and get through to them as much as I can. Okay? The elephant in the room right now, if you haven't noticed, not physically the elephant in the room, is COVID-19. And a lot of the questions have been around that, because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there's a palpable sense of anxiety going on around here. Palpable. Everybody feels it. Everybody feels connected to it. Everybody's got questions to that. So in those kind of situations, how can I, as a psychotherapist, how can I help? I have clients right now that I work with remotely, and the clients I work with remotely, I work with them online through my company, Talking Therapy Clinic. My company has been established for 3 years now, and part of our unique service that we provided prior to COVID-19 is online therapy. And then all of a sudden COVID-19 came and nobody was allowed to leave their house. Well, most people with care for others do not leave their house or go to the parks or go swimming or go jogging or go and play football with their friends. So now most of my clients, that service is quite popular right now. And how do I help people deal with the anxiety that goes on everywhere? It's all around us. What's going to happen tomorrow? I'm scared for my family. I've got kids. I'm worried that something's going to happen. I've got parents. I've got loved ones. I've got people that are within that category of having an underlying health issues that may make them vulnerable to this. How do I deal with not thinking about it regularly? What I would say is that we're in a unique situation right now where we are all in the same boat together. And over the course of history, you've either had one side or the other side. You've got them and us and them again. Right now, we are all uniquely in a situation where we're both connected on a level where we are all understanding that I'm not the only one feeling this. You are not the only one feeling this. You are not the only one concerned about your family and concerned about your business, or are you going to provide, and are you going to support your family, and what happens tomorrow? What happens next week? How long is this going to go on for? And the answer I have for every one of you, and the way I deal with my clients that have got pre-existing anxiety issues, always is the first step is acknowledging why you are anxious. Whatever it may be, I want you to acknowledge why you are anxious. If you can answer that question and connect to you on a certain level, when I ask clients, the answer they have for that is, I don't know what's going to happen. That's it. That's a powerful question. I do not know what's going to happen, Nathaniel. How am I going to be able to deal with it? And the not knowing brings up a feeling, a fear. And what is in that fear is people coming through and saying, all right, imagine the voices within you that lives within the fear is, what if this happens? What if I get it? What if my loved one gets it? What if and what if? And the what if is a question that you cannot answer in that moment, but you are scared of it happening. So let's face it, front on. What if I get it? If I get it, I pray that I will get better. What if someone that I love gets it? I pray that they will also get better. What can I do about it if someone I love gets it? There's nothing physically within our powers to affect another person that's got it to not have it. There's nothing, as soon as they've got it, there's nothing we can do to change that. So we feel powerless right now. Because in this situation, we are powerless about COVID-19. But what I want us to do is change that mindset a little bit and look about all the other things that you are powerful about. What is within your power to be able to affect change? What can you do right now to affect your current reality? All right. And one of the things I can do, I can choose when I allow this fear to enter me. I can acknowledge it. I'm scared of tomorrow because I'm unsure what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, I'm unsure of what's going to happen tomorrow. But for today, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have some lunch afterwards. And what's going to happen later on is I'm going to watch a movie afterwards. And what's going to happen tomorrow, I've got clients tomorrow. And on Monday, what I've got to do is I've got work. I've got clients. I've got a website in which I need to engage with certain clients and return. On Tuesday, I've got meetings, back-to-back meetings. Those are the kind of things I can put in place to be able to move the anxiety away. I'm going to continue to make plans about things that I've got control over. I'm going to continue to get up in the morning, get dressed, follow my pattern in which my body and my mind has been used to for over the years, and follow that so I can control my mind and determine what comes into it. The fear that comes into it, which a natural will. For psychotherapists like ourselves, we also have anxiety. We also have fears about certain things. But what we do about it is we acknowledge it, we try to understand where it's coming from, and we try to determine what can I do in this very moment to affect it. If I can't, okay, let me focus on the here and now. And that consistency allows us to be able to go, okay, I'm in control of this element. I may not be in control of this one element, but the other things, I'm actually in control of those elements. So that is a way in which you can start working with anxiety, right? And I know there's a couple of you that are teachers, parents, where you have timetables. And one of the things that I've introduced to my clients is having a timetable. And what that means is you have a time in which you allow the anxiety, the fear, the worry to come in. It's like, oh, you know what? 6 o'clock this evening, for about 20 minutes, I'm going to focus on what my concern is. I'm going to focus on what my fears are. I'm going to focus on what I'm afraid of. I'm going to focus on the worry. And then after 20 minutes, school's out. So my time for worry is being fed. I can move on to other things. I can get dinner made. I can connect with friends. I can plan for tomorrow. Those are the ways in which we can acknowledge that, the fear, understand it, determine whether we've got power to change it. If we don't, then we go into accepting and living in the current moment. if you do have power to change whatever you're anxious about, then that is a time in which you can then determine, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with it. So that's a little bit about COVID-19. And like I said about the timetable, now we're finished talking about it, we can move it to the side and focus on all the other things. So I want to answer some of the questions that's come through right now. And one of the first one is a question that's very dear to my heart, and is the word that all of us, we have tattooed and etched in our minds. And that word is called fear. And fear is a powerful force. How do I deal with fear? Or as the question asks specifically, how do you deal with the fear of failure? Now, based on what I've spoken about anxiety, if you can with me, I want you to try and explore the concept of fear for me. And it's something which over a period of time, if I do this again, which I plan to, we can look in-depthly into fear some more, because I've got my own theories about fear. Now, currently, fear, if you said fear to anyone, they'll look at it negatively. And what I've done is I'm like, you know what, I'm going to look at fear a little bit differently. All right? Fear is something that just scares the hell out of you by definition, right? So let's change fear a little bit and think about, let's turn it into an acronym. So the acronym I've come up with is copyright, by the way. Well, I'm going to get my wife to copyright it anyway. What the acronym for fear for me that helps me understand it. It may help you, it may not, but I'll share it anyway. Fear for me is, the acronym for it is fear enhances all risks. So fear enhances all risks. What that means is that, what is the job of fear? The job of fear is to warn me or to highlight certain risks to an activity, right? And the way I think about it is this. A lot of you are CEOs of your own companies, or CEOs of your own household, of your own lives. At least we're CEOs of it. And within that board, we've got a big old, imagine the desk being nice and wide and long. You've got you sitting right here and you're asking everybody else, okay, you are responsible for telling me about the profits that we've made this quarter. You are responsible to tell me about the losses. You are responsible about this and the other. So you've got sitting in that chair fear. Now, fear's job is to highlight to you as the CEO, now, Mr. Oke, we believe that if we go into this market, we are going to succeed. We're going to make this amount of profit. However, if we go into it, here are the risks that comes with this venture. And my job is to listen to those risks and consider the risk to my company. Because remember, we're the CEOs of our lives, at least. And we listen to fear. I don't want you to just push fear away regardless. I want you to invite it in for a moment. It's a brave concept, but work with me. Stay with me for a little bit. Hopefully we'll get somewhere interesting. Invite fear in for a little bit and just ask the question, what exactly are you trying to highlight to me? So whatever it may be, if you've all got fear in your lives right now, I know I do, we all do. You know, it's a natural reaction to it. So rather than pushing it away, let's invite it in. Take a seat. Do you want something to drink? Biscuits? Are you a dunker? No? Okay. And then whilst fear is sitting there, fear's job is now to break it down for you and saying, if you do this, these are the things that could happen. Right? And is listing it on a piece of paper. Is listing it. These are the things that could happen. So we look at all the things that could happen. So just imagine whatever you may be scared of. If any of you can just, let's make it as live and interactive as possible. Let's wing it. If any of you have got specific things in which you are scared of in your lives, whatever it may be, it could be going for a job, it could be whether you're going to be married, whether you're going to be a good father, a good mother, whatever it may be. If you just drop it into the comments right now, and we'll try and pick up one, and then we'll use that as a live exploration of the theory in which I'm talking about. So let's wait for it. All right. Hey. Hi, Ma. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Tanwa. How you doing? Charlie, how are you doing, miss? Welcome. K Moncrief, welcome. So anyone just drop in a message for me right now of a fear. Anything you may be scared of, whatever it may be, drop it in for me. So what I'll do is, I want us to be able to explore, how do we deal with fear currently? What is the theory from a psychotherapist on how to attack or deal with fear? Whatever it may be. Femi Santos, welcome. Okay. First one, brilliant. Failure. Now, this is a universal one. Dying is another universal one. Fear of doing a live video. That's a brilliant one. Fear to me. Well, I don't know if I've got that fear. But let's deal with Bookie's one first. And Bookie's one is a fear of failure. Now, the question I'll ask you is, you are afraid of failure. And this is a weird concept for it. So let's invite that fear in. Fear, take a seat, right? And the fear is going to say, you know what? If we fail, this is what's going to happen. But before we go into it, what does failure mean for you? Now, you could have, currently we've got 27 people watching, 26. It's going to come back to 27 soon, 25, 4, whatever it may be, with what that's watching right now. And for every one of us, we've got our own definition of failure. So it's very subjective. So whatever your whatever your definition of failure is, ask yourself, what exactly is failure to me? For a multimillionaire, failure may be being a thousandaire. You know, for someone that is broke, you know, failure may be dying. For someone that, you know, is a billionaire, failure may be being a millionaire and what that means for them, right? So it's about exploring what failure is for you. And over here, we've got a comment saying, my fear is fueled by imposter syndrome. I'm scared of making my fitness business any bigger because I don't feel qualified enough. Now, imposter syndrome, for you that don't know, thank you for that comment, by the way, because I think that is very astute. And that comment shows me a recognition and acknowledgement of yourself. What imposter syndrome means is, there's so many things that's gone on for me, and I don't feel I deserve this. There are people that's looking to me. Parents may have this, especially when you're giving birth to your first child or when you're becoming a father for the first time. How am I supposed to do this? I don't know how to do this. I'm not qualified. I am winging it. I am faking it till I make it. And then when I make it, I feel like I'm faking it. So fear of failure. Failure for you is one day someone is going to come to you and say, that is wrong. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. How the hell did you get into this position in the first place? Give this back to me. You don't deserve this. So some of us are afraid of what that means for us. Or some of us are afraid that I want to go for that job, right? And I'm going to link this to the imposter syndrome. I want to go for this job that it'd be brilliant if I did this job. But no, they're probably not going to hire me anyway, because I'm not qualified enough. They're probably not gonna let me have it. So the fear is sitting there, and the fear is right there next to you, and you're asking the fear questions. So what happens if I don't get this job? Fear is gonna say, well, you're gonna embarrass yourself by going in for that interview. And when they don't give you the job, because they're gonna shake their head at you and say, what the hell are you doing here? How did you even get through? You're gonna feel embarrassed by it, and you're gonna feel even more rubbish than you already feel. So fear is telling you, remember what the acronym for fear is for me anyway. Fear enhances all risks. So what that means is there's a risk that I'm not going to get this job. And fear is doing its job. If you look at the key objectives of fear, the key objectives of fear is to actually say to you, these are the risks that could potentially happen. I'm letting you know, and I'm warning you, if you take this step, this could happen, right? For every one of us, when we have that fear of failure, I'm not going to succeed in this business venture. I'm going to waste my time. I'm going to waste my money. Nobody's going to buy my product. Nobody's going to be interested in what I've got to say. What's the point of doing it live anyway? What do you know about doing it live? What makes you the king to tell people what to do with their lives? All of those things are things that's come into my mind about doing this platform. I invited those thoughts and the fear into my living room, and I sat it down on a chair and I said, all right, tell me about those risks. You know what the number one risk was for me? That I'll be the only one talking to myself and nobody else will be here. And what's the point anyway? What have you got to say? Nobody's interested in what you got to say. They know you as this person. They're not interested in the other parts of your life that you could bring into it. And I said, thank you, fear, for enhancing that risk to me. And I looked at the risk and I contemplated that risk. And I thought also, are you going to do it live anyway? Uncle Pete, which is my barber for the last 15 years, he's in self-isolation too. As you can clearly see, I haven't had a train for going for 4 weeks right now. So I'm that kind of prisoner that's writing on the wall for every day that goes by without me getting a trim. I'm like that. So all the brothers, all the guys that are watching right now, I feel that I'm not alone in this. Except for Dio, because it goes bald and it shaves you all off. So he's the only one that, nature is blessed enough that he doesn't need to go to a barber's all the time. Those are some of the fears that came in, and I listened to that fear and I sat it in and I said, fear, thank you for enhancing that risk to me that nobody will turn up. Right? Now, like I said to you, fear lists everything on a piece of paper for you. But what we never do, or a lot of us don't do, is we don't turn the page. Because what fear does, that a lot of us do not know, and I say this because I've spoken to a lot of people, I've worked with a lot of people in the profession in which I'm in. They don't turn the page. Now, if you turn the page, do you know what fear also says to you? Daya says he cuts his hair himself. I know, you're saving money. Bet you got more savings than me. If you turn the page over for all your fear, so for all the people that put the question is, Bookie, your fear of failure, whatever that failure is, Bookie, whatever your definition of failure that I'm not going to succeed, failure that I'm going to waste my money, failure that I'm not going to make my people proud, failure that I'm going to expose myself, and everybody is going to be there pointing their finger and go, ha ha, you can't do this, right? You can't do this. So when you have that sense of failure, let's turn the page around, right? If we turn the page over for all your fears, you know what fear actually does as well? Fear enhances all risks, but it also enhances the potential for success. But we never turn the page over. So for whatever your fear of failure is, list it down. Write it, because it's your personal one. You can say anything you want to write into it. You can write everything. I'm scared to look stupid. I'm scared to realize that I'm a failure. And by me doing it, I'm failing, is going to confirm what my fears that I've been pushing away are. Okay, but what if we go through that? Every one of your fear, I want you to answer it. The fear, nobody's going to buy my product. I'm going to make that product anyway. And I'm going to make it as good as I can possibly can. And what can I do to get people to purchase it? I'm going to give away sample products because I trust that what I do is so good. People are going to test it and they're going to love it. And if they love it, hopefully they're going to buy it. And when I get one purchase, that one purchase is a validation that this product is worth it. This product deserves it. So we go from that fear and we look again. What else am I afraid of? I'm scared I'm going to look stupid. Okay. I'm going to look stupid to people that do not know my favorite color. To people that do not even know my middle name. To people that I have no investment or care in my success in my life. Those are the ones that I'm focusing on to validate my experience, my existence. Then consider that. So if you're afraid of looking stupid to people, the ones that you don't look stupid to are the ones that are there to water your garden. They're the ones that are there to shine a light on your plant. And they're the ones that are going to be there in the end to support you. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you realize the others are not the ones that are going to water it. So let me not focus on those thoughts. So if you write down the list, and this is an activity I do with my clients as well, by the way. I ask them to write down all their list of fears, and through different sessions, we explore it and understand where that fear has come from, what we are afraid of, and fear of failure, because you've defined what failure is for you. Fear of failure is one in which you can actually look at and go, okay, I can answer every single question that fear has asked me. What if I do a live video and nobody watches? Then it will be a perfect opportunity for me to practice my skills or whatever it may be. It may be a perfect opportunity for me to see myself and see what my clients see. It will be a perfect opportunity for me to play it later. So maybe people are busy, maybe people are cooking, maybe people are not on Instagram at this time, or whatever it may be. It may be an opportunity for me to actually look at myself in a certain way. So that is my answer to that question that came through earlier. Fear of doing a first live. And I looked at the fear, I looked at the risk, and I thought, does the benefit outweigh the risk? In this case, the answer is yes. The benefit outweighs the risk. And for me, the benefit is, how many people can I reach? How many people can I connect with? How many people can I give a little bit more of an insight into understanding the work that our psychotherapists will do from time to time? Okay? I hope that answers it a little bit. Like I said, fear is a very powerful topic. And over the course of the next few weeks, however long I decide to do this, however long we've got one person watching, however long that exists, then we'll be able to explore that a little bit more. All right? Charmaine, how are you? Lena, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. So the next question I have that have been sent through to me, I want to be able to explore here is, I work with sixth form students who have a lot of issues and are reluctant to take up the offer of counseling. How can I encourage young people to seek help? Well, thank you, Belinda, for that question. How can you encourage young people to seek help? How can you encourage anyone to seek help, right? Us young people, we feel like we're bulletproof. And I said us young people, stop laughing over there. Us young people. I said what I said. I said what I said. How can we encourage others to seek help? How can we encourage our friends and our family to seek help when we're clearly struggling? It comes back to fear, right? When I was training, and I'll tell you a little bit about being a psychotherapist. When I was training to be a psychotherapist, part of the requirements, like every counselor in this country, in the world, for you to be qualified, you need to go through therapy yourself. You need to go through therapy yourself. So imagine the fear for me as a bulletproof African man, like nothing can afflict me. The bullets just bounce off me. I am impenetrable. Imagine then realizing for me to be able to achieve my dream, I needed to go through a process in which I'm going to be stripped naked and somebody else is going to be sitting across from me and somebody is going to be analyzing me, taking me apart, putting a torchlight to the dark recesses of my mind that I've deliberately hidden away. How am I going to be able to deal with that? And the way I convinced myself was simply saying, okay, I have to go through this process anyway. Just go to the first session and just talk about it because I have to. And it's only when I understood the benefits I could get from it that I started embracing it. Look at what counseling can do for you. Whatever you're going through, it could be bereavement. What can counseling do for me? Counseling can support me, can hold me temporarily in this moment right now where I need holding from. I need holding from the pain. I need holding from losing it and just feeling like I'm losing control. And somebody can be there and see my tears and see me and understand that what I'm going through on a certain level is a very human feeling. Through the dawn of time, we've all had bereavement. We've all loved and we've all lost. And if somebody can see that and try and find a way to reassure me that I'm going to be okay, because right now I don't feel like I'm going to be okay. I just want to stay under the covers. I want to cry. I want to scream. I want to shout on how unfair the world is. I want to be angry. I want to be sad. I don't want to be strong. Be strong. Whatever the hell that means. Right? Be strong. Okay, I'm going to be strong. So The formula of being strong is what exactly? You know, two teaspoons of sugar, a little bit of honey, put some vodka in there. Or some people may agree that vodka is a required ingredient to be strong. But what does that mean? But a counselor can go through that and be able to help me, guide me. You know what I said earlier in the beginning of this program? A counselor's job, a psychotherapist's job is to guide you through the darkness. They've got a torchlight. They can say, okay, no, don't step there. Just turn a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. And the way I would encourage any young person, any older person, or anybody in their prime like myself, the way I would encourage them is this. Look at the benefits you can get from this. Look at the ways in which this actually can help you. Normalize therapy. What that means is when somebody says to you they're going through a hard time, I want you to be that voice and that person in that room that says, you know what? I understand. I've been through something very difficult as well. You know what? You know what helped me? Going to therapy helped me. It actually made me see things in a totally different way that I never thought of it before. Even myself, I go through moments in which I have a discovery that I never considered before. One of my light bulb moments that helped me actually wasn't even in therapy. It was from my sister. My sister said something to me about 4 weeks ago. Now, something that I've never considered in that way for so long, for most of my adult life. I never considered it in this way. And she said to me, have you ever considered that this person didn't do what you think they did? Have you ever considered that other people were affected by you, what you felt only affected you? And what she did by saying that to me, it normalized so much for me about something that I was so certain about. And it totally changed the way I saw that and the way I looked at that. And it actually took a lot of the pain, anger, frustration, resentment. It took a lot of it away from that one conversation because I saw things totally different, just like that. Just like that. And it goes to one of the things I say is, when you know, then you know. If you do not know, I cannot expect you to act and behave in a way like you know. So once we know, we can't go backwards because now the reality, the knowledge, the truth is now here. We live in a different world now because this is a world of truth now. If you can explain to your students about the benefits for them to focus on it, and it sounds to me as if you are connected to your students very much so, and they will respect you and they will value your thoughts. So if you normalize therapy, and they will be like, actually, if Miss thinks it's okay, maybe let me give you a go. Let me try it out. We've all got our own ways of having an impact onto other people. Like I said, my sister, unbeknownst to her, she changed the way I looked at things, and I'm grateful to her for doing that. And that's what therapy does. It helps you see things in a way. Even I've been in this field for over 12 years, and I felt I'd analyzed that situation very well. Yes, I knew what I was talking about. Yes, my belief was accurate. It was totally true. But if you remember from the beginning of this program, this platform program, let's call it program. It is wherever we call it. I talked about putting your hand in front of your face, and I did the exact same thing. My hand was right in my face, so I couldn't see as clearly as I thought I could. And she gave me something from a different perspective that I didn't even consider for a second. And that is what therapy would do for you. So anytime you want to encourage someone to go into therapy, let's not look at the stigma and the negativity. We've looked at it, we've addressed it. Now let's look at the positives. What can therapy do for me? How can it improve my certain situation? I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to pay someone money. Hello, Abner. I'm going to pay someone money to help me. Okay. What do I want to get out of counseling? I want out of my therapy. I want to be able to understand this. I want to be able to deal with this better. So it's a win-win situation for you. So if you can say that in a certain positive way, then the other person really, hopefully, they'll find the time for them to be able to explore it. But with one caveat though, I'm a firm believer that, that old saying, it makes me sound even older right now. You can take a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink, right? Sometimes we're just not ready to face that reality. Sometimes I don't want to see the truth. It's okay. I don't want to say thank you. I know if I go to counseling, it's going to tell me exactly what I know deep in my recess, that I know that this is the truth, but I don't want to face that truth. So hopefully be patient with them, support them, and over time, hopefully they will be ready to take that step to actually deal with it. Okay? So I think to be very honest with ourselves and be honest and say, I do need therapy, but I don't feel like I'm ready for it right now because I'm scared of what may come out for it. Okay? So thank you, I want to say to my sister for changing my perspective on something that was very important to me. And therapy can do the same for you. Okay? So let's look at the next question. The next question says, can you describe the different types of therapy and which type can work for different individuals? Okay. Now some of you may want to or may not, but I would invite you to go to my website. The website for the company in which I'm a director is called talkingtherapyclinic.co.uk. You can look it from anywhere in the world. .com was taken. But for every negativity, we look at the positive. At least .co.uk was available, right? So for talkingtherapyclinic.co.uk, if you go to it, there's a page in there that talks about the different types of therapy. So you're talking about NLP, CBT, person-centered, psychodynamic, Gestalt, so many of them. So what I would say is this, in answer to this question, check the website out, go into the therapy page, and let me know what you think of it, by the way. Go into the therapy page and it will describe to you the different types of therapy that's out there. I'll tell you a little bit about the therapy in which I practice regularly. It's called integrative psychotherapy. And what integrative means is I integrate the different models of therapy. So psychodynamic is, we will call that the father of therapy, because that came very, very early 20th century. And it was popularized by a man you may have heard called Sigmund Freud. And we go into other forms of therapy, person-centered. We go into other forms of therapy. And what all of this, it may mean absolutely nothing to you. But what it means is the focus of the therapy and the style of therapy is specific to that module. So psychodynamic is a good one to describe. Psychodynamic is blank canvas. So imagine you're your therapist. For all you in counseling, you'll probably be able to determine whether you are in a psychodynamic counseling by my description. Okay, here we go. Your counselor is very blank-faced. You make a joke, there's no laughter. They are listening to you. They are asking you certain questions and analyzing it. And what they do is they become the blank canvas. So the reason why they can't tell you about their lives, the reason why they can't tell you about anything that you want to know is this. Because they are a blank canvas and you are not supposed to know anything about them, because your job as their client is to project onto them. And by projecting whatever your fears, your concerns, your worries are onto them, they'll use that projection to be able to understand you better and be able to find a way for them to help you. So that's psychodynamic. They do a lot of psychoanalysis. So that is part of what I do as well. But I also incorporate person-centered. And person-centered is a softer way of making you feel comfortable, bringing you in to be able to understand you, to make you feel better. And then I also incorporate different forms. CBT may be one in which a lot of people have heard about, because CBT is very popular on the NHS, DBT as well. And that is a more structured way of therapy. So imagine I give you a homework, like today. I'm scared of snakes, Nathaniel. How can I get over my fear of snakes? And we'll work through it in the session. And I may give you a homework for you to listen to the sound of snakes. or for you to look at a picture of snake, and for you to measure your level of discomfort by virtue of you looking at that thing that terrifies you, and you bring it into the session. I may give you a homework for you to practice about assertiveness, for you to practice different skills. That's it. CBT basically stands for cognitive behavior therapy. What that means is my cognition, the way I think, and the connection it has to my behavior. All of that linked in together determines that form of therapy. So cognitive behavior therapy is looking at that. Okay, very good question there coming in, and I'll look at that. How do you find working as a black male therapist in a very white female dominated field? The first thing I do in regards to that is, am I black? I thought the lighting was terrible in this room, right? Your state of mind would determine how you experience the world. And my state of mind is not to look at it in that way. I look at it more as an opportunity that, imagine being a white therapist and you have no understanding of what it feels like to be a black person, and you have no way of connecting with them. I have that unique experience of being able to connect and understand myself, my brothers, my uncles, my father, to be able to bring to a client that another client may not be able to understand, right? I understand, I can see, I can read about the female experience. I'm not a female, I can't connect to the inner workings of it. But I can try and work away. There's one less obstacle for me, because I can try and work in and try and understand. I want you to explain to me what it feels like to be a female. But in the a white female dominated field, what I'm finding right now is that there's room. There's room and there's a demand for someone that looks, sounds like me to be able to connect with so many people that want to connect with that. So I look at the positive of what I can bring rather than what's not available to me. It's a work in progress. And in time, there are more people that's going to look like me, sound like me, that's going to come into this field and is going to enhance not only black clients, but white clients, Asian clients, every spectrum of the world, because what binds us is more powerful than what separates us. It sounds like something you read out of a cliched book, right? Imagine a book called The Book of Cliches. I'm sure you find that on page 4 or something like that. But I genuinely believe it. Right now, the elephant in the room, COVID-19, is showing us about what binds us rather than what separates us, right? Let's look at... Let's look at now. The next question I have. Hey, Charisse, welcome. I just want to make sure I've answered all the questions you've got available. One of the questions I've got here is, how do you become a psychotherapist? Very good question. You wake up in the morning and decide, that's it, I'm a psychotherapist. And it may sound like such a throwaway joke, right? But it isn't. How do you determine that you're going to become a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it may be? It starts from here for you to say, I have decided in this very moment, this is what I'm going to do with my life. Now, the next step is where it becomes interesting. But the first step is not taking a course. The first step is not going into therapy. The first step is not getting the hours. The first step is deciding, this is what I'm going to do. It's as simple as that. Now, the next steps, that's when you need to work hard for it. The next step is, what can I do to achieve my first step? My first step is, I want to be a psychotherapist. So what I did was I researched it and I'm like, okay, all right. So how can I do it then? I know I want to do it because I want to help people, I guess. How can I do it? Okay, I need to study. All right. To what level? To this level. Okay, where can I go and take the course? What course is available? Then you start doing that. There's so many different routes to it. I'll tell you the route I took. And the route I took is this. The route I took is, I went to study at college because I needed to work. I didn't have the opportunity, I won't say the luxury, I would say the opportunity for me to just focus on studying and nothing else. I had to feed myself. I'm sure all of you are in that same situation. You have to feed yourself, you have to pay certain bills, and it's like, okay, I can't do this. So I studied part-time whilst working. one of my jobs was working as an accountant. Can you believe that? I know. Do I look like an accountant? I could do, actually. I'm African. I'm called Nathaniel. Any of you that watched the real McCoy back in the day, you remember there was a character called Nathaniel, and he wanted to be an accountant as well. So you can imagine that it was almost as if destiny was pushing me towards being an accountant, but I pushed destiny out the way. I said, Destiny, mm-mm. So I worked, and the job that wanted me, that I was working as an accountant, new management came in, and new management wouldn't allow me to continue my studying, which happened one day in a week or half the day. So what I decided then is I decided to stop being an accountant, and I had to give up that job because I saw clearly that my first step is I am going to be a psychotherapist, and I can't do that if I can't study to become one. So I left that job. It was working for the Royal British Legion, RBL. If you recall it, they sell puppies and everything, and they do brilliant work for veterans. And I was working there, and I couldn't work there anymore because I chose that if you can't allow me to go studying, I appreciate the time, take care. And then I was in limbo. What can I do with that? So I started studying part-time. I got into another job that was totally unrelated to accounts. However, that job allowed me to do what my plan was. So if you see someone stacking shelves, if you see someone doing certain jobs, like working in Sainsbury's, and you're thinking, whatever, that's beneath me. No, that person is working towards their dream, hopefully. And that's what was going on for me. So that's how I studied. And then after that, I became more experienced. And then after that, I went to university to do my postgraduate diploma, and which was in CBT. And that's how I became a psychotherapist. All right. Someone's just asked me a question. What are the benefits of online therapy over face-to-face? Online therapy, face-to-face. Now, if you ask any therapist right now and they ask them what do they prefer and what do they think is the most effective form of therapy, a lot of them would say face-to-face therapy. Because we can see you, we can connect with you, we can look at your mannerisms, your body language. We can have that understanding in our room. I'm a firm believer that the room breathes depending on who's in it. So have you ever been in a room with somebody and the energy was just a little bit different? You could feel that energy, you smiled more, you were more buoyant. So it's something similar like that with the face-to-face therapy. However, doing online therapy for the last 3 years at Talking Therapy Clinic, what we have established a way in which we can enhance online therapy as best as we can. The camera angles in which we use, the way in which we engage our clients to be able to connect the best case scenario in that situation for online therapy. The benefits are you can be in your home, you can be in your pajamas, you can be wearing absolutely nothing underneath it. But what we see is you in your comfort area. You don't have to travel out to see a therapist. You don't have to pay money to travel and do all the other things that you may need to do, but you can actually bring that person in to connect with you, to be able to get the same form of therapy, but in a different environment, a different format. If you haven't done it before, try it out and see if it's for you. Try it out and if it's something that you can benefit from. Because no matter what the benefit the therapy is, whether it's face-to-face or online, therapy is never successful without the connection between the therapist and the client. It's never successful. So as good as I think I am as a psychotherapist, I cannot change anything without the support of any of my clients. So for any of my clients out there, future clients, thank you, because you actually contribute to your own success. One of our catch line is in our Talking Therapy Clinic is it's time to heal. Another catch line is every voice is heard. So if we listen to your voice, like hopefully I'm doing right now, we'll be able to connect with you. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to round it up now. Thank you, everyone, for listening, for watching, for tuning in, for adding the comments, your feedback. I truly, generously appreciate it. And I value every which one. I plan to do this again. So fingers crossed, if you think I should, let me know. Have a great day. and you decide what positivity or negativity you let into your life. Take care. Bye-bye.